This is tricky. How am I going to get to the other side of the river to meet Mia and get my book? Do you have any ideas? What should I do? I could swim across. That's one strategy. I could find a boat. That's another strategy. A strategy is a plan we can use to help us complete a task. Can you come up with another strategy? How about using those rocks to hop across? Nice! All of those were pretty good strategies. Now I can get my book and we can start reading. Hello, readers! Now that we have worked on CVC words, sight words, and blends with L, R, and S, we can read lots of words and sentences. Once we can read sentences, we can begin reading stories or passages. A passage is like a short story made up of more than just one sentence. We read passages just like we read sentences. Ready to read passages? Let's go! Whoa! When you first see a passage, it might seem difficult or tricky to read all those words and sentences. Kind of like when I was trying to get Mia and my book from the other side of the river. But when something is tricky, we can always come up with a few strategies to help us. Do you remember what a strategy is? A strategy is a plan we can use to help us complete a task. Before we read passages, I'm going to teach you 3 strategies that will help us. Strategy 1. Have you ever heard of finger tracking? Well, you know how train tracks are straight lines? Sentences in books and passages are in straight lines too. When we have more than one line to read, it can be easy to accidentally skip a line. Then the story doesn't make sense. So, just like those straight train tracks, we have to use our finger to track the line. That's called finger tracking. We go from left to right, straight on the line like a train track. When we reach the end of a line, we go to the next line and start on a new track. Our next strategy also has to do with trains. Strategy 2. What is a train made up of? Yep, lots of train cars. What is a sentence made up of? Lots of words. As we do our finger tracking, keeping in a straight line, we want to use our finger to point at each word as we say it, so that we don't miss any. We used dots before, but we can also imagine that we are touching each car in the train. It is a big cub. We have one more strategy that will help us read passages. Strategy 3. Have you ever seen a highlighter? When we use a highlighter over words, we can still read them and it makes them stand out. Highlighters are made so we can still read the words. If you have a regular marker instead of a highlighter, then use it to underline the words instead of coloring over them. Otherwise, you won't be able to see the words to read them. When we have a passage, we can highlight every other line. It's like making a pattern. You can use any color highlighter, but mine is yellow. Do you see the pattern? Yellow, not yellow. Yellow, not yellow. This can help us with our finger tracking so that after we read a yellow line, we know that the next one should not be yellow. And then we should have a yellow line after that. Let's read a passage together so we can practice using these 3 strategies. Even though we see lots of lines, we have our strategies to help us. Let's start with the title at the top. I'm going to use my finger and imagine some train tracks, just like each word is its own little train car. Not bad. I spill from a glass. I am sad, but I get a mop. A spill is not bad. We can fix it. Let's read it one more time. This time I'm going to use a different strategy. I'm going to highlight every other line. Not bad. I spill from a glass. I am sad, but I get a mop. A spill is not bad. We can fix it. Great job! Let's review those 3 strategies just one more time. We can use our finger to track across each line like a train track. We can use our finger to point at each word like we're pointing at each train car in the train. We can use a highlighter to highlight every other line to help us keep track of where we need to read next. With those strategies helping you out, I know you'll be able to do it. Just like that strategy you helped me come up with that got me across the river to my book. Looks like we're both ready to start reading passages. Great job! And don't forget to always stay clever.
Hey.